river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me. Run through.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have from Worcester, we have an author, and his name is Andrew Noone. And he wrote the book Bathsheba Spooner. It's a revolutionary murder conspiracy, and it did happen in Worcester. She got hung, right?
Yes, you're saying.
Oh boy. Andrew, welcome.
Thank you.
Andrew has many talents. You're also a music teacher in Worcester, and he has the patience to deal with the elementary age. Oh my. Do they still do the flutophone?
Fourth grade does recorders, yes.
Yeah, they call it flutophone when I was a kid.
Flutophones are wider and shorter.
Oh, so now they get...
Longer and a little thinner, yeah.
I don't know if my parents had to pay for it or it was given to everybody.
Back then they paid, I believe. My sister had it. I think you paid probably.
Had to pay?
Yeah.
So did you study elementary ed in school?
Yes.
For music? Very good. All right, so Bathsheba Spooner. This is a very interesting woman. She got herself into a heap of trouble in Worcester. Without giving the ending away, well, maybe I have. Tell us about the book.
Sure. And she was daughter of a prominent loyalist in Massachusetts, Timothy Ruggles, French and Indian war hero. She married Joshua Spooner in Boston. They settled in Brookfield, which was near her dad's town of Hardwick. The marriage disintegrated over time, and she began plotting the murder of her husband. Ezra Ross, who was a militiaman returning from Peekskill, New York, stopped en route to his home in Ipswich. He was very sick, and she nursed him back to health. Their affair began probably a year later. In the meantime, two British soldiers happened upon her house. She called them in, and she enlisted all three into several plots to kill Joshua. All four were found guilty in April in Worcester, and all four were executed in July. In the meantime, Bathsheba claimed pregnancy. The first exam declared she was not pregnant. The second one, that she was, but the officials in Boston only accepted the first finding. So she was executed along with the men in July.
And he has pictures in this book. But I didn't find one of her.
No, there are none.
What did she look like?
We don't know. We know she was beautiful from several reports. She's very attractive. There's a painting in the Worcester courthouse, but it's very fanciful. It depicts her as though she would be seen in a century earlier, from the 17th century. So.
I love this. It has the second Worcester County Courthouse. You mean that one? That's where her picture is?
No, it's in the 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in the 7th courthouse, the new one.
Oh, yeah, the big one right on Main Street.
Right.
Of course, I didn't know back then about
that was on Mass Ave, on the west side of the city.
Now, tell us about Levi Lincoln. He was in on this too.
Right. He was an attorney originally from Hingham. He set up practice in Northampton, then moved to Worcester, where he became well known as an attorney. He became Attorney General under Jefferson later.
Oh my God! The Bigelow Tavern
in Westminster, sure, yeah.
The attic containing drawings. Who drew these drawings of a hanging?
We think Lucy MacDonald, who was Ezra Ross's other girlfriend. She was also pregnant.
He got around.
Yeah, he was a busy boy.
You know, back in this time, you wouldn't think that would
I make a point of that we tend to take 17th century morality and superimpose it on the 18th. The 18th century was not the same as the 17th. It was much looser.
It looks like a child has drawn. You can't see it, but he's got great pictures in here. It's like almost a surreal...
They're little chalk drawings, sure, that amateur would do. Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost looks like a playground, unless looks like two people are being hung.
Right.
Did Worcester, did a lot of people come to see this?
Yeah, there were 5,000 there. Worcester had only 2,000 people at the time, so it was a huge crowd.
So, Joshua, her husband, we have that's his tombstone.
Right.
And was that in Worcester?
That's in Brookfield.
And then, another group. There's two pictures of his gravesite.
One's of the murder site.
Okay, that's right here. Okay, you took the one by the author of this one, and somebody else took this one.
I took both, I believe. I think both say author, I think. By the author, I think.
Yeah,
yep.
By author. Were they buried together?
Bathsheba. Oh no, she's We're 99% sure she's buried in Green Hill Park in Worcester. That was her sister's estate.
Yeah.
They would not have buried her at downtown. That would have been too open to curiosity seekers. Also, they wouldn't have buried her at the execution site, so one site remained, which would be her family plot. Her family, I should say her family estate. We're pretty sure that's where she's buried, but it's an unmarked grave. Over the centuries, it's been a big mystery. Where is it? No one knows.
Why is it unmarked?
Keep curiosity seekers away, probably.
But the other people that were hung, there were 3 or 2 others?
2 others were buried under the scaffold, 2 British soldiers, most likely. That's where the commoners were buried, typically under the scaffold. Ezra Ross was brought back to Ipswich. He's buried in Ipswich.
Who knew? Well, until I had read about you and your book, I had no idea that there was a few hangings in Worcester. Here's another chalk drawing. And Ezra Ross at the extreme left, he was hung, right?
Yes, he was hanged.
The live words of dying speech, woodcut into an accompanying men's confession, 1778. We think sure we're different there. Then here's Green Hill Park. Traditionally accepted burial site of Bathsheba Spooner, photo by our author, Andrew Noone. So you're not sure, you can't use a Geiger counter to find it.
Yeah, no, of course, what's left now? Typically after 60 years, nothing's left. So.
Amazing. Now, what got you interested in this?
I live on the park.
You
where
live
she's
at Green
buried.
Hill?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And so how did you hear about it?
I was always aware of this story. It's Worcester's best-known, infamous story. A friend came to dinner when we first moved into the house and suggested, and reminded me, that's where Bathsheba's buried. I said, that's right. And I wanted to find out more about it, but there were no books at the time. Finally, in '99, Deborah Navis published the book, and I took mine in a different narrative direction. Hers is more of a kind of a tight, topic by topic, history study. Mine's more of a historical narrative style.
So that's how you got your interest in it.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get the book together?
9 years. Oh. That's research and writing.
You went to the
On and off.
Did you go over to the Antiquarian Society?
That was the big source, yeah.
We're going to have the president
Very good.
of the Antiquarian Society. I've been dying to get in there because I know my great-great-grandfather was the inventor of the Jocelyn rifle during the Civil War. And he was in Worcester. So I got to find out.
It's an amazing collection, that really is. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Is the info, do they have info on people who live in Worcester, live there?
Yes.
Well, this is...
It's not a genealogical library, but they have a lot of family information.
But they have information. I would think they would on somebody who invented a rifle
Right,
for
right.
the Civil War, for the government. Did you choose the cover?
Ivan Novochik did the cover. He's a cover designer with Upwork, it's called. I chose the photo. He chose the layout.
So he was your illustrator.
Yep.
How, is he a friend or you just met him? Or
A company's called Upwork. They do book design.
Now, when did this come out? When was it?
Last week, February.
Oh, yeah, 2021. Last week in February. You've been moving around a lot with this book.
Yes.
Where have you been presenting?
Let's see. Worcester, Preservation Worcester, Situate Historical. The presiding judge was born in Situate. I have Tactic Book Sale in Westboro coming up, Lancaster coming up, actually about a dozen in the fall coming up.
Libraries?
Mostly historical, a few libraries.
Yeah, some of the libraries are opening up more now,
Mhm.
including ours here in Upton. You can catch his book downstairs. It will be at the Upton, here in the Upton Library on the dedicated local authors wall. Don't miss this one, Bathsheba Spooner. She was do you think it was something to do with the way she was raised?
I mean, he was probably arrogant to a point. He was the best-known Tory in the state, along with, say, the Governor Hutchinson. Definitely a type A personality. She was the favorite daughter, and then all of a sudden he finds himself exiled to Staten Island, then eventually Nova Scotia. So she's left out in Brookfield. And she had a very forceful personality. Some would say she had a personality disorder.
Yeah.
So it's a lethal mix of items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we were to meet her today, what would she be like, you think? Hyper?
She'd be out there, yeah.
Yeah.
She'd be a little more acceptable today, probably, but she was not a retiring type.
Yeah.
She always seems to be in your face.
Oh.
The few pieces we have of evidence that we have, she's always out there saying things that seem a little.
I don't think there was there much love shown, affection in their family?
No, the children mentioned very rarely. And the marriage was from early on not in good shape.
She and her husband didn't have children, did they?
Yeah, 4.
They had 4. They had
Yep.
4. Okay, so I got her mixed up with someone else.
3 survived her.
3 survived. What happened to the other one?
Childbirth.
Oh my God. Now, before we go any further, how could they get a hold of your book, Andrew?
Sure. It's available at Amazon Books. You can just type in Bathsheba Spooner or Andrew Noone. Either one will bring it up. It's available also as an ebook.
Now, about our author. You can read it on the back. An independent scholar, Andrew Noone holds graduate degrees in musicology, art history, as a Florence Fellow with Syracuse University. My aunt went there. And has completed the U.S. Department of Education's Keepers of the Republic 3-year history program hosted by the American Antiquarian Society, which is in Worcester. Beautiful. I've got to get in there. He has taught courses in the humanities at colleges throughout Massachusetts and is published with Worldwide Books and the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. A former member of the Worcester Historical Commission, he is a docent with Preservation Worcester. His home borders on Green Hill Park, near where she was hung, resting place of Bathsheba Spooner. Now, you were a former member of the Worcester Historical Commission, and you're now a docent.
Mm-hmm.
What is the docent at Worcester Preservation?
We do tours of 8 neighborhoods in the city, historic neighborhoods.
There is a house that my husband and I went and toured. He was a guest on the show. It's not far from the old, huge courthouse. It looks very much like the one in here, a white house. I can't remember the name of it. It's historical, and the guy lives there now. Pretty sure.
It's near downtown?
Yeah. It's like practically up the street.
Oh, that's Salisbury Mansion.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes, I think we went to that one.
Sure.
That is,
And she would have passed that building many times, because that was right at Lincoln Square.
yeah, definitely, yeah. Now, how many colleges did you go to?
Undergraduate at Anna Maria, 2 graduate degrees, Syracuse, Clark graduate certificate, Middlebury Italian School, and then Worcester State was the historical.
Yeah. Clark, right?
Yes.
What year were you there?
I finished 94.
94, okay. You're just a kid. My grandfather graduated there in 1904.
My goodness. That's an early class.
It's either 1908 or 1904. I brought a relative of mine over to the kind of the historical preservation part of Clark, like a library. We weren't allowed to touch it, but I wanted him to see the pictures of my grandfather sitting there. He was in the debating society.
Oh, wow.
He was like amazing.
That's close to Freud's visit when he was there. That's very close.
It's what?
Freud visited Clark. I was very close to that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good school, but they're all good. Do you ever get up to Holy Cross with your story?
No, I haven't, no.
How do you get in touch with these people, or do they find you?
A little of each. It's mostly self-marketing, always getting the word out.
Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, I know. I help artists, authors, and I know it's so important to get the word out about your book. Now, we jump a little bit around here. You teach music. Any particular instrument to the kids?
No, general music. We have no piano lab, so it's classroom music.
Yeah, and it's the 8 elementary, which...
K through 6.
1 through 6?
K through 6.
K through...
Yep.
I asked him if he had patience. You didn't think you do, but my God, a room full. Are they still 20 to 30 kids in one room?
Of course, now this year's been different, but generally, yeah, probably average 20 per class. Oh.
I can see maybe 2 or 3, but a room full of. What do you do with somebody who doesn't want to learn how to play the recorder? What do you do?
They can only sit down because it's so stressful hearing all the squeaks and pops and they just sit down. You can't.
You're not retired, though.
No, in a couple of years. Yeah.
So you're still. No, you are retired.
I will be retired.
Yeah, not yet. Oh my gosh. Did you originally come from Worcester?
Yes. Yeah.
You did. So you're Worcester born and raised.
Yep.
Is there another book coming on the horizon?
Yes, I'm not sure until what the topic is. I have some ideas. Yeah, there will be, sure.
Okay, anything like this based on a true story?
Yeah, oh yes, it'll be a true Worcester story with national implications. Yeah.
Not necessarily in Worcester, but...
In Worcester, probably, yeah.
Ooh, this will be good. And it's based on a true story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll be history.
When is that coming out?
Oh, boy. I won't be 4 years, I'm Hale. A little sooner. Yeah.
So it took you 9 years for this one.
Yeah.
You're on your 4th year with the one now, right?
I'm not writing at all
you
right
haven't
now.
even started?
No, never started. But I have some good ideas.
I bet this will go faster.
I think so.
I bet
Having
so.
gone through this. Yeah.
So do you have kids in the system?
Do I have children? No, I have 2 grown children. One's a assistant concertmaster in Louisville, and my son is at home working in Worcester.
There you go. I think a lot of the kids, the millennials, are home
Yes.
or whatever.
I was reading like 40% the other day are home still. So, yeah.
You know, I thought I was weird. I mean, I would go away from home for a couple of years after college.
Right.
They'd come back. They'd go out again and come back. Never stayed long. But I always knew, you know, you can come back.
Right.
A lot of them, they don't leave.
I just think,
They don't leave.
yeah, that's true.
I guess if you have like an in-law type of suite for them, that or the basement, the attic
Mhm.
type of thing. I still love the cover of this. It shows that it's a big rock, but what is that thing?
It's a well. So I wanted a lurid cover, well, red on it, so that highly toned yellow sunshine behind, and
Yeah.
the bright green before looks almost unnatural, and the way the shadows cast over the well. The well may have looked like that. We're not sure. All that survives today is just the disc in the ground is covered.
Oh, that is not even.
That's
there.
not the actual well. No,
Oh, so all right. So the illustrator found one that looked just.
I
like
found the photo.
You found it.
Yeah.
And did you build that on top of it?
No, that's the actual photo that I found. It's called Dreams Times. It's a photo site online. You can buy photos from
I
it.
forgot. Did Bathsheba ever actually live in Worcester?
No, Brookfield.
She was in Brookfield.
Her favorite sister was in Worcester.
She was the baby of the family, wasn't she?
Next to the last.
Next to
Elizabeth
the
was
last.
the youngest. Yeah.
And why was she such a favorite to the father?
She probably had his personality.
Usually they say that can clash, right?
Yeah, right. I wonder, did she learn from him? Did she have it naturally? I don't know. You know, but they seem 2 peas in a pod in a lot of ways.
And she was plotting, trying to get other guys to execute her husband.
Right. And meanwhile, jeopardizing her entire family.
Her what? It's jeopardizing.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
their future. It's very strange. No father, no mother.
I wonder what he thought when he found out. What went through his head?
What Joshua was thinking?
He had no clue, did he?
He exhibits a certain level of cluelessness.
Foolishness?
Cluelessness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Clueless. Oh, yeah.
Clueless. He was friendly with Ezra right to the end, Ezra Ross. He didn't like the British soldiers being there, but he never told them to leave. Well, he did ask them to leave kind of politely, but they never left the house, really.
Was he they were the Whigs and the Tories,
But he was a Whig. Yeah.
which means he was loyal to the
He was,
crown.
no, he was Patriot. He was on the Committee of Correspondence in Brookfield, so he was on the Patriot Committee.
So was she also?
She was a Tory. She was her
So his
her
daughter
father was.
became a Tory.
Joshua, she was father and she were both Tories. Joshua was a Patriot.
I know my grandfather found this fascinating. I mean, who knew? Were there any more after them that were hung over in Worcester?
Were there hangings in Worcester?
Yeah.
After, into the 1870s was the last. A man from Petersham was the last.
Why would they do that? Didn't they have the prisons at that time?
That's it. He was hanged in prison. The last public hanging was 1840s, I think. Got the date right. So there was a hanging in the prison block in the
Yeah.
1870s. He was the last one.
But they weren't. I mean, they never got the chance right, to go to prison. They were just...
Incarceration's a 19th century idea. If you were in prison in the 18th century, you were awaiting trial, or you were in debtor's prison. Or the other.
And so she knew. Did they went through a judge, too, didn't they?
Was the trial before a judge?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 3 judges.
I wonder how... She seemed like the type maybe that just wouldn't face her that much.
Yeah, the comments she makes before, during, after the trial, she sounds unfazed by it all.
Her father was like clueless.
Well, the father was very dynamic, and he wasn't clueless. He had his act together. Joshua was clueless about who was trying to kill him, her husband.
Did her father didn't know about that?
He was in Staten Island. She tried to write him a couple times, but as far as we know, they had no contact during illness.
And he ended up in Nova Scotia.
Right.
Her father. And my grandfather was born there.
Okay.
Were they Scottish by any chance?
No, British. They're from Roxbury, Mass. They're all English. Way back.
Spooner.
Yeah. That's her husband. He's a Ruggles. The Ruggles are all from Rochester. Roxbury.
Huh. We're talking with Andrew Noone, and he is the author of Bathsheba Spooner, a revolutionary murder conspiracy. This is true in Worcester. Again, how can they get your book, or have you come and speak?
Sure. Again, it's available on Amazon Books, either as a paperback or as an ebook.
And don't forget, here at Upton, the library, it's going to be downstairs. Copy. If you want a real whodunit type of thing, this is the real deal. Is your next one? Your next one is also going to be based on truth, right?
Yes, it'll be a history. Yeah.
So you like that, the history part of things.
Yeah. I like to promote Worcester's history also. So.
Yeah, Worcester has a long, long history. We had Attorney Chandler.
Sure.
He was a good sport. We have those stairs, and we managed to get him onto the chairlift, and he came up. He was so good. He was an excellent person. Downtown Worcester has, I don't know if you've heard about it, but tunnels, caves. Have you heard about that?
Sure, the catacombs. Yeah.
The catacombs. I am very curious about that. What do you think that was for?
I don't know. I've heard different ideas. I don't really know. It's a strange situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard bootlegging.
Right.
That they did that.
I think it's too new for the Underground Railway. I think, isn't it? I think it's a little later. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's later than that.
Then they thought it was a place, like, how do you call it? A whorehouse? I don't know what
That's
to
everything.
say.
What a location.
They thought that, but then it could have been for prisoners.
Okay.
Have you been in it?
No.
They say that they made it so no one gets in the door, but this thing goes, I think it even goes around back behind Mechanic Hall.
Yes, it was behind School Street there, that area. Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I had a gentleman on a couple of years ago who wrote a book about it. It does keep you wondering. It really, really does. Does Bathsheba have any Spooner relatives alive now?
There are a lot of Spooners in Hardwick and Brookfield area. I'm sure they're related. Also
Yeah.
Ruggles.
Yeah, Brookfield, that's not far from where I grew up in Wilbraham.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. So you were born and raised in Worcester.
Mm-hmm.
You went through the Worcester schooling system. Were you the youngest or oldest?
Middle.
Oh, you were the middles are good mediators. They learn quick.
I've heard, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've always heard that the older kids are the torch holders. They go out with the flag and everything. They were the first experiment. Then the middle kid comes along, doing well, and the next thing you know, the baby's there.
Mm.
Now, younger kids are more likely to, I'm doing what I want.
Right.
I'm going to just have fun. Yeah. Did you ever read Kevin Lehman's books?
I'm aware of that. I've read them. Yeah.
The Birth Order Factor. Excellent book. So, again, we've been talking with allergies. Andrew Noone, and he's the author of Bathsheba Spooner, Revolutionary Murder Conspiracy. And right on the back, if you pick up the book, it's going to tell you all about the story. And there's a picture. He looks exactly like he does on television. Andrew is right there. Where are you going to be speaking next?
Tannic Booksell's the next.
Where?
May 16th, Tannic Booksell in Westboro.
Oh, Tatna.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Are you going to be in the big room or out in the front?
I don't know. I think in the big room, I think. Again, what's his name? I forget his name now. But a minister of Parkman, Ebenezer Parkman from Westboro, was a close observer of the case. So that's the tie-in with Westboro.
So there's a minister in Westboro.
Who was closely following it.
He's there now. Or was he?
No, he contemporary of Bathsheba. He was following the case closely back in the 18th century.
Oh, okay. So he's not with us right
No.
now. No. Okay. So you're going to be at TACDA in Westboro. When do you know? When is that going to be?
May 16th, Sunday.
Sunday.
Yep.
What time?
I believe it's 1 to 3, I think it is, on May 16th.
May 16th, 1 to 3. Andrew Noone will be over there at in Westboro Tatnick Bookseller. I hope you go to the big room and you get to talk to people. It's one thing to sit there,
Sure.
but it's another thing to actually get questions. I've been in there. It's a good place.
We're doing a Q&A, so it's probably in the large room.
Yeah, it's the big one. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a nice big poster so they'll know you're there?
I'm having one done now. Yeah.
Good, because it's easy to walk in that door, and if they forget to put one
sure.
up, no one knows you're in there.
It's true.
So that's a good place. After that, where are you going to be going?
Let's see. Lancaster was speaking October 24th.
Where in Lancaster?
Historical. So I think at the Bullfinch Church, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There are a dozen tentatively set up for the fall. I discussed this in the spring with several places. With COVID, they were kind of awkward when to schedule it. But yeah, several towns in Massachusetts are interested.
Oh yeah. Have you spoken yet? Oh, obviously at the Worcester Library.
They have my book. The history club is reading it. I may speak there. It's a possibility.
The book club is reading it?
Yeah.
You gotta speak there.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
a huge treat. They've got 2 big rooms, on the ground floor.
Right.
I wonder if you get to pick.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
I've
yeah.
been in both of them.
Okay.
That would be great. Definitely got to get to Worcester. Look at all the towns surrounding it. There's Millbury and
Also North Shore. Ezra Ross is from the North
Yeah.
Shore. Cape Cod. She's from the Cape. There's a lot of connections to the state.
he was from Hingham, wasn't he?
Ezra Ross.
No, wasn't it her father? Or,
The attorney's from Hingham.
Ezra Ross
Levi
was-
Lincoln is from Hingham.
My parents used to live there. It's a nice town.
Beautiful town. Yeah.
Very nice town. You know something too? Salem. Spooky? Mysteries? This is real? They go to Salem
thought.
Library and they show
Even the Witch Museum, even. Sure. Yeah.
You'll be writing home. We're going to have to wrap it up now, but we've been talking with Andrew Noone. What an exciting... He's got another one coming, but he's not telling us yet what it is. Bathsheba Spooner. This is a very true story during the Revolutionary murder conspiracy, and she was hung along with 2 or 3 other guys.
3.
3. She was conspiring to have her husband killed. And so I guess he didn't have a clue about it. And I don't know, but today she would probably have gotten...
Insanity defense probably would have gotten her off today, probably.
Yeah, well, or life, not...
Right.
We don't have the death penalty in Mass, do we?
Correct. We don't know. No, only for federal crimes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We only look out for him. He's going to be this Sunday, April... What's this Sunday's date? Just 20...
I mean,
at Tatnall.
That'll be May 16th.
Oh, May 16th.
May 16th. Yep.
May 16th, he's going to be at Tatnall. Okay. 1 to 3. Tatnall in Westboro. Come on in and he'll tell the story again, and you can ask all the questions you want to. Did you have fun doing this?
I did. Thank you, Jen. Yeah.
Yeah.
For inviting me. Yeah. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
I can tell you really was into this. I can't. You gotta let me know about the next one, because once I've whetted my appetite on something like this, I want to know. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Heading out toward the moon, I am dancing to the lunar tune. Life goes by so quickly, time just slips away. But tomorrow brings a brighter day.